Amazing. Welcome back, Katie Ware, PR and content manager extraordinaire at Curvy Kate to the Trailblazers Experience podcast. How are you, girl?
I am feeling good. I'm so happy to be back. Congratulations to you for still doing this podcast, like 8 months on or whatever it is. It's
I
amazing.
know it feels like forever. We're getting better. We're getting better. And I say we, it's the royal me. Getting
Smashing it.
better at it.
Director, podcaster, like all of it, all in one
All of it.
house.
Yeah. Do you know what I've really enjoyed about it, Katie? Just the whole immersing myself, not only in the technology that's involved, but also speaking to amazing women, delving into their stories, and just realizing we're actually all going through the same thing
Yeah,
in
yeah.
different ways.
And so nice to meet people that's, in the actual day-to-day world you might not have met either. And virtually it brings you together, which I think is super cool.
Yeah. And I think recording on the weekend makes it a bit more, people are in their safe space, so their homes. It's virtual, so they can be comfortable, more vulnerable. They're not the stresses of work. So I think doing it that way, I was reticent at first because I thought, oh, if I ask them to do it on the weekend, is that encroaching into their personal space? But I think that's surprisingly good.
Yeah, we aren't rushed.
No, exactly, exactly. So I've been looking at your profile, and I mean, girl, with over 20,000 followers on Instagram, I didn't check TikTok because then I would have gone into a wormhole of just looking at TikToks. The handle We're Wonderful. You are known as the bra queen extraordinaire. You are a bra whisperer. You are a lingerie expert. You know, you've been doing some really big things, making waves online and offline. And how's it been this year for you?
This year has been incredible. It's been tiring. It's been eye-opening, but ultimately, I think we just said this before we came onto the podcast. We've been ticking off some vision board moments. And I think that's what 2023 has been for me. It's definitely enabled me to do some things I haven't been doing for a few years. So, for example, in-person bra fittings, they were really something that just wasn't happening. And now I'm bra fitting the likes of Alison Hammond, Josie Gibson, Judy Love, all the loose women. Like, there's so many cool things that now I can do. And it's just like pop to the studio, go see them, get my bras out. I've also been on TV. Like, that was one of my main goals of my entire life, was to spread the passion via television and reach like maximum audiences and educate them on bra fitting and lingerie. So yeah, I've been doing that. And just in general, just working with creators that can now go out and do more is more exciting. We're not just, in the confines of the bedroom getting the same sort of content coming through. It's like, actually, do you know what? I'm traveling here, I'm going there. Can I have some swimwear? And then that obviously is like much more exciting to work with too. So yeah, it's just been really nice to have less boundaries, more blue sky thinking, and also just feeling like your goals are in touch, like you can actually reach them without the world being a bit of a crazy place. So
Yeah, and you've just touched on lots of avenues of how you've just engaged with audiences in person. Do you think doing all of this has also helped enhance the platform, or, the noise of social media and grow those followers as well?
yeah, absolutely. For me, word of mouth is like the strongest. It will never ever stop. And I think even when we do social media and we have a post, it's still that person sending the post to their friend or tagging their mate that gets the word out there. So that is still fundamentally word of mouth. And I think whether you're doing it in person or through social media or on television, it's people talking about you that gets you out there. And that is the ultimate public relations. That's what it makes the world go round for PR. So yeah, I think definitely being in person, having that one-to-one, like there's nothing better, especially for a bra fitting, because it's so intimate. And in person, you get to have those conversations that perhaps online it feels a little bit like clinical at times, whereas in person they really get to feel your energy and your vibe, and it's more than just a bra fitting. It's actually getting to know someone and sometimes even making a friend, which is pretty awesome. So yeah.
And social media trends, I mean, what you've just described is also just the whole algorithm. We're always talking about, oh, the algorithm said this, but this year in particular, so if we talk about all the amazing things you've done, even for Curvy Crate, Curvy Crate, bloody hell,
That'd be great.
Curvy Crate. I know,
Get Clubby girls carrying
I
some
know.
crazy shit.
Harry,
Don't get
there you
me
go. That's a
started.
strategy.
0%, obviously.
Yes. So if we talk about Curvy Kate's social media strategies this year, how have you sort of adopted them? Because there's been a big consumer moment, trend moment, which has been Barbie this year.
Mm.
Was that something you'd planned for, or did it just have to evolve as the build up just started?
Yeah, I think it was definitely something that when did we shoot? We shot it was spring summer 23 collections. We would have shot those last May. So we shot them in May. Then the teaser for Barbie dropped in July. And we were like, oh my goodness, we've got a pink bra. We've got a pink bra coming out next July. So that was the moment we almost felt that like Barbie pandemonium about to happen. We were like, yeah, this is going to be big, because already it's a year away and people are excited. So we knew that pink product was going to be at the forefront of like the pushes that we did, but we didn't necessarily know how we were going to go about it, how much Barbie we wanted to use, whether it was just going to be like, this is a pink bra because everyone's talking about pink. But actually, after watching the movie, it was much more like, wow, this really aligns to the brand that we are, and ensuring that women are empowered. Like, it just fell all in place. So using that Barbie phrase and the hey Barbie, hi Barbie, and just all the little things that came out of the movie were so perfectly aligned to the brand that we really went quite heavy into kind of the Barbie marketing, and that pink bra ended up being one of our best sellers of the season. So although it wasn't necessarily the top line of our marketing strategy for 2023, it definitely fed into it the closer we got to the Barbie movie launching, and understanding that, yeah, pink was going to be a big colour. But obviously, one of the biggest things is influencers. Like, you can't get away from being sold something now when you open up your phone, you know, like it feels almost a bit like Black Mirror at times. Like I think about something I want to buy, I open my phone and there's someone selling me what I've just thought about. And that is the world we live in now. It's all about that influencer lifestyle. And instead of us looking through the Argos catalogue, it's actually someone selling virtually to us in a very subliminal way. It's not necessarily like, buy this, it's $23.99. It's like, no, I love this top, I've got it in all the colors, like, you need it makes me feel amazing. And those kind of like marketing strategies for us work. Like, those girls that love our product, that get that love and passion over to their audiences, are the ones that we've implemented over and over again in this year. So yeah, passion is key.
Yeah, I mean, you really tapped into it, because I know some brands didn't think, they didn't realize when the Barbie fandom pandemonium sort of, broke out, that it was going to be something. But even leveraging as a consumer moment, I was telling people, because I did not want to actually go and see the movie,
Right.
because I thought at first, oh, stereotypes, so it's just, cliche Barbie. But I went there and I realized they were really talking about things that were current. There was empathy, it fostered understanding with different, groups of women. And they
Yeah.
talked about the issues that maybe people didn't want to talk about, but in a way that it was accessible to everyone. So I did actually enjoy my Barbie moment. So that was good to see.
Yeah, and I think that amazing speech that America Ferrera did just hit home so much. If you haven't seen the movie, like, there's many memes of that speech online if you wanted to catch it, but that kind of really gave me one of those like moments. I think there was like one sentence where she said, as a woman, you have to do it all, but somehow you're never doing it right, or something like that. And I felt that. I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's so me. Like, I feel like I'm always giving my all, but sometimes it's just never right. And I don't understand why, because it's the best that I can do. So yeah, it was hard hitting. And we did take influencers to go watch it at the cinema. And it was one of those moments where we all looked over to each other and everyone was crying, and it was just, we were all dressed in pink, we all had underwear as outerwear, but we all felt very similar emotions. So it was it was a beautiful moment for
It
us
brought
as a brand to accommodate
really
that.
brought women together, isn't it? In a way.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
So as someone who deals with, we call it intimate apparel, but lingerie, bras and panties, how do you navigate, and especially in this year, the challenges and nuances of, promoting lingerie on social media? And especially where you're all about body positivity, we know there's sensitivity to body image issues. How have you navigated that this year?
To be honest with you, it's not easy. And although there's a lot of talk around Meta freeing the nip, it's definitely something that we don't see as a brand. Like, and still it feels a little bit led by the patriarchy because we only ever do sort of like educational content. We're selling lingerie, yet those posts are still being taken down when it's clearly a post that isn't aimed at sexual content. It's a woman wearing underwear. And from the Curvy Kate side of things, she's always smiling, she's happy, she's having a great time, but she can sometimes be in a bigger body. And we know from past experiences that women that don't suit a social norm or something that we've seen for a long time, they often get picked up by Meta and taken down. And that's something that hasn't really changed. So we're constantly battling that, especially with our brand ambassadors who are women of all shapes and sizes. They find that their content is getting taken down a lot. And when it comes to kind of like sensitization of the content, we are having to put nipple covers on all of our models to make sure that our content isn't taken out of the product lists and things like that on ads. So a lot of our ads get removed or taken down or not approved because of nipples. So yeah, we're always having to be super careful around that. Some of our educators, we call them, so these are influencers that we work with who purely educate about bra shapes, bra sizes, what's the best bra for you. We're seeing them get taken down without any nipple on show. Like, it's a absolute color block bra, yet they're a size 16 and their content's being taken down. It's not even that one post is being taken down and then Meta is saying we're not showing you to other audiences. It's that literally one influencer's account disappeared overnight, gone. And that was her livelihood. And we as a brand ensured that we did everything we could to support her. And we ended up kind of giving her a connection at Meta and really trying to ensure that she could get that account up as soon as possible. But it really knocked her confidence and also gave her worries over content that she would post going forward. And in a way inhibited her job as a bra educator. So she didn't feel like she could go and do what she loved, because she was now worried that what she would do would be taken down.
I mean, that's just so terrible, especially, remember we went to a concert where there were some women who have never even had a proper bra fitting. And if social media is their first instance of getting that education and, potentially going to a bra fitting and having a proper bra is good for your posture and everything else, I mean, that's already a barrier that it's so difficult, especially as women, when we're fighting the whole diversity, body positivity, to have that on top of it. If it's your livelihood being taken away, it's a constant battle.
Again, and it's giving that power back to the men in a way, because by taking our content down, we're sexualizing something that shouldn't be sexualized. Like wearing a bra on a daily basis, one that improves your posture, uplifts your mental health, makes your outfits look better, takes a strain off your neck and your back. That is then seen as sexualized content. But to who? to men. You know, like women aren't finding that sexual, they're finding that educational, informative, and something they probably want to tag loads of their girlfriends in. But for some reason, that content is seen sexual. And, you know, the words boobs, breasts, we don't even use that half the time because we are aware of that. So we're really trying to work around so many loopholes to reduce the content being taken down. But somehow it still does. And some things are still kept up that I see that damage me as a 34-year-old woman. So it's an interesting place out there.
Yeah, and I think the advice I suppose that you would give is to keep fighting. So, you know, if your content does get taken down and you do have a valid reason, it is to contest, to write to Meta or to fill out the necessary things online to get that going. It is frustrating because it does take a bit of time.
Exactly. It takes time. And at that moment in time, when your account gets deleted or you're being told your content isn't going to be seen with people outside of your network, it can be so demotivating, upsetting. And also, what I'm finding is our girls are looking at themselves as the issue. You know, like, why is it my body? What have I done? And it really does lower your self-esteem and affect you. But by pushing back, so saying, actually, standing in your power, this is not sexualized content. I'm very aware of that. I'm just here to educate. I'm wearing a bra. As long as you can stand in your power and know that you're not actually going against any of these guidelines, then hopefully you should get your account back. But yeah, getting people to help you get your account back. So I see a lot of creators kind of involving people in the same industry. So I always see lingerie girls putting up stories like, please report, saying you can't find this person's account. Let's get this girl back online. And there is a beautiful community in the lingerie industry, the fuller bust industry, especially, where we do all support ourselves and really want to get everyone visible and like just enabling them to have that social space, because we all know how important it is and how much we would have loved someone like us when we were younger. So yeah, there's a lot of help, there's a lot of support, but just know that you're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, and there's something to be said around whether it's a brand or an influence of just, I've seen a lot of brands and businesses just now spreading themselves across multiple channels. So not just being on Facebook and Instagram, but going on to TikTok, going on to other platforms, so that if for some reason, you know, something does get taken down, then their content is still visible elsewhere, which is more work, especially if you don't have a team, especially if you don't have the, you know, you're a PR and content person of one.
Yeah.
Having it across multiple channels is probably more tiring as well.
Yeah, it's tiring, but also what you face on Instagram, TikTok is 1,000 times more. So in terms of any content that has a hint of any skin will be taken down super quickly. And again, this can be around certain body types, but then it's very strange what you see fly. So sometimes like certain body shapes, all of a sudden these are getting millions of views versus someone who's maybe a little bit different. They don't even take off or their content gets taken down. So again, it's just understanding like who is deciding what content stays up, what gets down. Like I want to see these adjudicators or these people. I think I heard on the radio that there's 40,000 people. I can't remember the exact name of the people that check the content, but that work for Meta. 40,000 people who are qualified in looking at content and deciding whether that stays or that goes. Who are they? What do they look like? And what guidelines are we looking at when we take down content and what stays up? And apparently they were saying that so much content is being prevented from being put on, so it doesn't even get one view because it's that bad. And there's just a lot of questions around, well, how does some of the stuff still gets, you know, left up?
Yeah, it is questionable when you see what's being pushed on your feed as well sometimes, isn't it? As well.
Yeah, 100%.
Still work in progress, girl. Work in progress in that area. So let's step change. So your expertise in bra fitting and body confidence has obviously led to TV appearances this year. What motivates you to? I know you talked about your vision board, but talk to me about how these achievements have come about. And you know, let's PR you in this instance.
And I think it is just wanting to share my passion and my knowledge to as many people that will listen, as wide as I can get it, because I know that what I have to say is so important. And I know the way that I deliver it is accessible to so many. Like, I feel we've all had that one woman that judged us in a bra fitting room in cold strip lighting that made us feel a little bit negative about ourselves. And I want to show people that actually that doesn't have to be your experience. Let's all gain knowledge, understand what a badly fitting bra should look like. So maybe you can identify that yourself at home without having to put yourself in a position where you have to go to that bra fitting or drive 200 miles to a specialist boutique if you live in America and things like that. Like, let's make it more mainstream. Let's openly talk about boobs and bras and that education that sometimes as well people don't talk about within families. You're very lucky if you've got a mum that passes down that knowledge to you, but a lot of women that I come across never had that conversation with their mum, or perhaps their mum never felt the need to wear a bra, and then her daughter's got a completely different body shape that does require a bra. But potentially seeing that piece of news article on Steph's packed lunch or whatever it is, she might have just watched it, and just knowing that one person got something from it is, that power that I need to keep going and keep pushing out that word. And every time I get a DM that's like, oh my God, I saw you here, or I watched that video and I learned so much, or I just bought a bra based on that post you did, like, that is all so exciting and just keeps me burning and keeps me going. And also just, it's just in me. It's in my blood. I don't think I can ever not talk about bras and boobs. It's just the biggest passion in my entire life. So that's what keeps me motivated for sure.
There have been some really great segments, and I think you are, someone in the industry who's motivating, admiring. There's a lot of admiration that I think comes through in terms of what you're doing and what it stands for. Because you're right. I used to watch segments, I remember years ago, where you'd see people being made over. So the outfit would look great, but wanted to know, what are you wearing underneath? What's going on there? Because that is the day-to-day, the ultimate of maintaining yourself too. If we talk about women in PR and social media industry, are there some women who you're admiring at the moment who have had an innovative approach or a different way of doing things that you say, you know what, I like that?
Yeah, when I received this question, actually, I thought it was so interesting. I had to really think about, well, who is it in PR? I think I gave the answer in my last podcast, like the PR person I look up to a few years ago, maybe not now, was Michelle Mone. I thought she was the ultimate PR gal. Like, she was amazing. But now when I think of PR, I don't have anyone who comes to mind, but I think of influencers. I think of celebrities who are essentially PR people, and I think just the landscape of PR has changed massively, that it's not necessarily that Samantha from Sex in the City PR woman that we used to have, who we now have. It's more these influencers that are creating their own brands. They are the PR person for their own brand.
I agree.
I have so many women that I look up to, because as someone who works with influencers and who dabbles in influencing themselves, it's hard work. And I get very annoyed with people who say, oh, it's easy being an influencer. Oh, look at them. It's really hard getting the lighting right, being on top form every time you get something sent to you that you have to turn around in 24 hours. And then for a brand to come back to you and say they don't like it and you have to recreate it. And especially being a lingerie influencer, perhaps being on your period or feeling hormonal or bloated, like there's so many things that go against you. So I think Harry Beavis is the Big Titty Committee. If I were to talk about her in 2023 as a PR gal, I would say, 100%. She is killing it. She has created a community of, I think, just under 90,000 women in a closed Instagram group. And she inspires them to love their boobs. Her and I have created content together, and she's really up for bringing in other educators to teach her audience. And she's brought all of these people in through word of mouth. It's this beautiful closed group with no men. It's just women. So you feel safe. It's this safe space. And I think in the lingerie industry, creating a safe space is really important, and something that on social media is so hard to do. So her as a PR person creating a safe space for filibust women online, massively applaud her. It takes a lot of work. Imagine this girl's had to accept 90,000 women to her Instagram and check every 100,000 male that has tried to attempt to get into that group. Like, I cannot have enough admiration for her and what she's put into that Instagram. So yeah, I think all influencers have to uphold now this certain level of brand representation at all times. We can get cancelled so easily. We're putting our souls on the line. We're putting our life out there for people to see. So yeah, I think PR now is different. It's a bit scarier. It's, yeah, more transparent as well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you're so right. You've touched on the point of how it's evolved so much, and influencers, that is a really tough job, especially when you've nailed your niche. Especially when you are good at putting across what you're talking about, you've done the research, you know who your group, your target group is, you know who your audience is. When you've nailed it, I just have admiration for it. And a closed group with 90,000, I mean, it's even more intense because it's a closed group. The emotions and the things shared are probably,
Yeah.
much more intense than just in an open forum itself. So I love the fact that it's evolving, and it doesn't have to be people who were, in the old age, the Mad Men age of PR, or like you said, the Sex and the City type of PR. So that'll be one to watch. Actually, I'll try and see if I could join that closed group.
Yeah,
I'd
and I
love that
also
for sure.
think with the pandemic, that mingling's changed. Like, we no longer, well, we're kind of getting it back now, but where we used to work a room, we're now working profiles and comment
That's the
sections
new
and all.
networking. That's the
Yeah,
new networking. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Working
exactly.
social platforms, um, commenting on things that mean to you, whether it's or participating in lives. That is the new normal, the new networking.
Yeah.
Obviously, at some point, then you get to meet the person, but I feel like, yeah, that's been the biggest shift.
And it opens up more of the world, which is great,
We love that. We love that. Let's talk about AI, sexy artificial intelligence. We had this chat, isn't it? And it's becoming increasingly relevant, I think, in social media and marketing. And for me personally, I think AI is important if it saves us time, makes us more efficient, and if it can make us more money, brilliant. That's for me like the three things that I
Yeah.
sort of love about it, because time, as you know, nothing is promised. Time is something that you just have to use as efficiently as possible. But Katie, how do you see AI impacting, your role as a PR and content manager? Are there specific
Mm.
tools you're using, or are you just like, oh, I can't deal with this? What's your view?
Yeah, I have to say I was so skeptical. Like, the visionary of Curvy Kate was so into it. He was like, everybody get Chat GPT. I was like, no, no, I'm a creative. I want my brain to work and I want to bring my ideas to the table. Like, I don't understand how I can still be successful if I just type in, you tell me what to write kind of scenarios. And then we had more conversations, and it was like, actually, use it to enhance what you've already got. Like, you've created the building blocks, let them work on top of it. And I was like, okay, this is making a little more sense, because I think we've all come to creative blocks in our lives when the creative juices are just not running. So I have learned to like it. I wouldn't say love it. I'm still quite skeptical, because although, yes, it might save us time, I still feel like you use a similar amount of time because you're having to check what's being written. It's not a case of, so basically, you've written a piece, you put it into Chat GPT to make it better, but then you have to reread it to ensure it makes sense and that it's still getting your point across. And then you have to fix any sort of, bits. And then you're sat there still thinking, is this what I was trying to say? I don't know if that's just my brain, but I'm like, what was I trying to say in the first place? Because I feel like my idea's then been taken to a different place. So yeah, I'm finding it difficult. It's a journey. I'm trying to use it in different capacities. So blog writing, press release writing, kind of like enhancing my language, because sometimes it can get a little bit samey, especially the words you use and things like that. So I'm just trying to kind of open it up. But for me, creative writing is something I love. And I don't want that to be taken away from me. I don't want to stop my brain from creating those ideas. And I also want to know that the people that I'm in meetings with have used their brain a bit and they're not just bringing ChatGPT ideas. Because what happens if 10 of our competitors have also typed in the same thing to ChatGPT? That's what scares me the most, because what makes a brand unique is the people that work for it and the people that have the ideas and know the brand and know the products and have passion. So if we're all using ChatGPT and we're all using it in the same industry, are we going to start seeing similar results in terms of the marketing that's put out? So yeah, what do you call it? A double-edged sword. There's obviously
it is.
things, but it's quite scary. It's a scary place because
Yeah.
we also don't know where this information is going that we input, the questions that we ask. That's what I kind of raised in one of the meetings, was like, well, if we put ideas for spring summer 24 lingerie collection, how do we know our competitors aren't then going, what are Curvy Kate's ideas for spring summer 20? You know, how do we know that? I don't know.
Yeah, is everyone around asking the same questions? But that was also for me, all the things that you've mentioned are completely valid until I
Thank you.
actually realized, through research that AI isn't just ChatGPT. And obviously we've probably been seeing AI a lot anyway in terms of the algorithms for Instagram, etc. There's such cool tools out there. Like there's I use a lot for editing as well of the videos. There's one called Video, funny enough. It edits the videos, it picks out the highlight reels and the clips, because I need to start doing more shorts, so that's going to help me with that. There's one called copyright.ai. So to your point, you put information into ChatGPT, but obviously you want to check that it's authentic, that it hasn't been used elsewhere. So then you're having to put it into another platform. So I feel like there's so much out there, but it's the most important point you've made is you do want people to still use their brains, their creative, their common sense, what they've learned, the skill set they've amassed, and this should only be, on top. It should not be something that's used 100%, but the bolt on to whatever you're doing, especially with content creation too.
Yeah, exactly. But love the ideas of, I think editing is something that takes up so much of our team's time. So it's definitely worth looking into that. And I think for me, like when I think of AI, I do just think ChatGPT. So again, it's kind of like opening my mind to what else is out there. I have 4 Alexas in my house. I must be a fan of AI, but I think it is just when it comes to a work capacity, I'm like, oh, I get paid to do that. I like doing that.
Yeah. It's also tapping into consumer moments. You will watch something today that probably that tool hasn't picked up on, but that's something to follow through on because it will resonate with your consumer and your followers. So yeah, as long as you continue to educate yourself and continue to evolve in your sector, in your career, I think you should be fine, Katie.
I'll just have more chats with you about what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. What are you up to? Let's talk about the Moonwalk Walking Marathon, because you participated in that. Tell us about your involvement in this marathon this year, and what inspired you to participate in the event.
Yeah, so Curvy Kate actually decided that they were going to be the official bra supplier to the Moonwalk. So this was something that our MD spoke to Walk the Walk about, and the next meeting we had was, well, we're now the official sponsors of Moonwalk, Walk the Walk, and Katie, do you fancy being our captain? So I'm never one to say no. So yeah, I think it was a moment when I just realized that actually, when else am I ever going to walk a marathon? And I wanted to do it because being that PR girl, I knew that we could have fun, we could get a lot of word out there, but also we could really like make a change and help people. And the weirdest thing was that when we signed up to be the bra supplier of Walk the Walk, I also found a lump in my boob. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to start writing press releases about a breast cancer charity when I think I have breast cancer? And it was one of those moments where I was just like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I literally don't think I can even be in these meetings talking about this because of what I'm going through right now. But it was almost like the weirdest situation that, again, came to teach me, because I had to go through all of these tests. I had to have ultrasounds and blood tests and everything to work out what was in my breast. But through doing that, I understood what every woman goes through when they're having these moments in their life, when they found a lump. I'm so grateful that it was not breast cancer, but I was looking around that room and I thought, oh my gosh, so many of these women won't be getting the good news that I got today. And that was the moment I was like, I'm going to walk that marathon and I'm going to raise all the money that I can. And I'm doing it for every single woman that was in that hospital waiting room. But then when I thought about that, was one day, one waiting room in a small town. And then my head started going, thinking, imagine all the other waiting rooms. Imagine all the other women like in this country, in the world, and how many people are affected by this. It just really got me super emotional and really invested into ensuring that Walk the Walk was something that I did the most for. So yeah, we got a team together at work. Everyone was really, really excited about it. Again, a lot of us had those stories around breast cancer. Even people had wives or grandmas or mothers that had been affected by breast cancer. So a lot of it was very close to the heart. And we did it, I think, as a team of about 9. So 9 of us from the business.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, we started at 10 p.m. and walked through the night. But it was really emotional seeing the people that were walking alongside us. A lot of them, there were a lot more men than I expected that were walking for their wives who had unfortunately passed away. And I just remember turning one corner. I think it was around the 17th mile, and there was a volunteer and she just had a sign and it said, "Do it for my daughter." Oh my gosh. And me and Leah, we were just like, oh, like, you know, I feel like I'm going to cry now, but it was just one of those really emotional times, because you were like, yeah, this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm walking. This is why we're raising money. Like, it was, yeah, it was super amazing. And again, being that bra company, I think wearing bras is sometimes seen as sexual, but again, like, there's so many other things that breasts do. And that's what I learned when I went through that process. I was like, my boobs are, I just want to keep them healthy. Like, I just want my boobs to be healthy at this point. I don't even care if they look sexy. I just want them to be healthy. So it was just like, you really, that whole 180 on that relationship with your breasts, and opened up my eyes massively to what women go through. And I think it's also helped with my education of when I do bra fittings. And I always talk about like how you put your bra on, really important, because you have to touch your boobs, do the jiggle, do the scoop and swoop. And a lot of women are like, I've never touched my boobs. I've never done that. Why would I do that? But that is how you check to see what's normal, how you get to understand your body. You need to touch it, feel it, look at it, all of those things. And you can do that whilst you're putting a bra on every morning, whilst you take your bra off in the evening. You can do those checks to make sure that, you know, everything's looking all right. Or if you've got a problem, you can bring it to the forefront of your mind and get checked. So yeah, it was incredible. Very amazing event to be part of.
It's such an amazing cause and a full circle moment. You know, the stats say, I was looking at cancer research, that 1 in 7 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, and 23% of breast cancer cases are preventable. So you sort of think, you know, this is something that we have every day in front of us, and we should be comfortable with that. So, you know, well done, first of all, for completing it. And definitely a cause worth being a part of. So we say it to all our lovely trailblazers, you know, remember to get your checks every year and be familiar with your body. So important.
Yeah, absolutely. And another great charity that offer some really good kind of like marketing materials is Copperfield. So Copperfield, I've got it in my shower actually. It sticks in your shower and they can send it to you, and you can see how to check your boobs. And checking in the shower is actually one of the best things you can do, because you've got the water, place, yeah. It's warm, you can really feel any lumps and bumps and anything that's not, you know, your normal. And they also send text reminders as well to check your boobs. So I think that's every month they send you a little reminder to check your boobs. And also, guys, if you're listening, check your moobs. it's not just women that get breast cancer. So it's definitely worth everyone just giving a little feel.
A little touchy-feely. Yeah. Shifting gears and related actually to you walking, I know you as an amazing vegan. You even pointed out some places which you think I should go to get some good vegan. So I mean, I love all kinds of food, so I'll try it all: vegan, pescatarian, everything. I'll eat it all. But we also talked about in your last podcast of what led you to adopt this lifestyle. Let's talk about your journey this year, because girl, you are looking fit. You know,
I'm
we
happy.
Yeah, exactly. And we've been training at Gym Club, GIM. So shout out to Craig, which is a CrossFit gym. Talk to me about how that's impacted you and your experiences and achievements. Because what I'm trying to demystify or debunk is, training is only for people who want to compete in some competition that is sports related. There is a big focus. We've just talked about breast cancer, being healthy,
Yeah.
but also to allow you to perform in your best ability at work, be creative, and excel. I think it's a very big part. So just talk to me about that and what sort of happened this year for you with that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I think Gym Club has given me routine. And I am a routine led person. I love a routine. If I know that on Monday I do this and then I do that and then I go there, that makes me very happy. And it also keeps me very motivated. And I'm reading Stephen Bartlett's book at the moment. And it's like, if you give yourself that deadline almost, like I'm going to go here and I'm going to do that on a Monday, I'm going to do this on a Thursday, I'm going to do that on a Friday, and you do that every week, you have more reason to do it, but there's also more likelihood that you're going to keep doing it. So Gym Club is amazing because they offer early morning classes. And I think a lot of the time it's all about accountability, right? Like if you say, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go for a run, but if you're going to do that on your own, the likelihood is you're going to stay in bed. And I think for me, doing classes has been one of the most beautiful changes in my kind of workout routine, because not only is gym a place to work out, but it's also a community and a place that I've made friends like yourself. And it motivates me to go, because not only do I want to work out, but I want to see the people, I want to hang out, I want to feel the vibe. But I think, routine has been the biggest part of that. So I know on a Monday morning, I wake up and I get to that gym at 6:30 a.m. If work allows me. Tomorrow I won't be there because I'm in London. But as many times as I can, I want to be in that class. And I book, I think it's like 10 days in advance that we can. So I book and I make that promise to myself that I'm going to go to that class. There are a few late cancellations when my body's just like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it today. But on the whole, I attend that class. So accountability is that booking. So knowing that if I don't want to go to that class anymore, it's going to cost me £5. Don't want to do that. And then there's the routine, but also the mindset. So we've all been rolling around in bed in the morning going, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. But the minute you do, and I think for me, it's that moment of going from lying down to sitting up and then swiveling your legs out. You're like, okay, I'm awake now. I can do this. I can get up. But it's just getting up. Then once you're up, you get to the gym, you start your first part of that workout, and you're so glad you went. You're so happy that you did that gym class. And at the end, oh my God, it's a feeling of euphoria. It's just like, yes, I did that. It's not even 8:00 yet. Like, how great is that? I've got all this time. And I think 2023, I've become a morning person and I love it. I love getting up early. I love getting all my stuff done before work. I love starting work knowing I've already done my workout. And tonight I can eat dinner and go to sleep if I want to. Or tonight I can go for a long walk. Like just knowing that I've got it all out the way is really, really great for me. But also feeling strong. I am doing this to feel strong, to feel healthy, and to be the best version of myself, because I truly believe that to be the best version of yourself, physical fitness plays into that. Because I think when you are looking after yourself physically, it helps with your emotions, it helps the way you look at yourself. It also makes you think about what you're putting into your body. So you understand that actually you know what, I just worked out for an hour. Don't think I really want to go eat those 4 donuts. I'll just have one. It does change your mindset, and it does help you make those better choices. And it just clears your mind. It lets you focus on just working out. Like, barely do I ever go to the gym and think about TikTok or work. I just think about hitting my next PB, or ensuring that, I've got the right dumbbells, or I'm focusing on my form. Like, I'm not really thinking about anything else. And I think that's what's so great about being in the gym, is that it allows you that space away from your desk, away from the busy life, away from all the thoughts that you've been having all day, and just focus on getting fit and sexy.
You mentioned the 3 C's. I mean, the Diary of a CEO. And he did talk about health is the commitment that he makes to himself. It's a commitment he's made to himself to think about his health, to work out, to eat well. And it's that first thing, isn't it? The commitment, the consistency,
Mm-hmm.
and then finding that community that also is engaging in the same things that you are to push you forward. And I'm just like you. I've always been a morning person. I've always done sunlight before screen time. So walking to the gym, getting there, getting it done. And you're right, it sets you up for the whole day. No matter what you're doing, there's just the endorphins and everything in your brain, your body is just working in a different capacity. And it's that commitment to yourself that you have to make. You're not making it to others. It only works, if you commit to yourself and say that's something that you're going to do. The routine does help as well.
Yeah, and I think it's enjoyment. I think if anything that we do in life, we want to enjoy, and that enjoyment keeps us going more and more and more. So sometimes don't sign up to the class that makes you feel a little bit shit. There are those classes. Sometimes I walk out of Engine and I'm like, oh, I'm not as fit as I thought I was. And that makes me sad. And I don't want to go to Engine next week. But Lift makes me feel really good about myself, because each week I see myself progress with the weights and things like that. So I think it's also choosing the workouts that you do. And as a woman, choosing what workout you do at certain times of the month to kind of help with that positive energy, and ensuring, you give yourself some slack at certain points. So if you didn't lift as heavy as last week, it's okay. You're still there. You're still showing up. You're still doing your best. And I think for me, it is just all about that moving your body, whatever that might look like. Just do it and get out there and breathe in the air and get the blood flowing. That's just success in itself.
Definitely. I mean, you've also talked about the time of the month and how our body just changes. I've noticed it even like with running, or I know when I'm at my best for running or training in the gym or lifting weights, and accepting that you can't always be 100%, your body is just, every day is not the same, and that's okay as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's also working out with people who are very understanding and accepting of that. And I think, again, going back to gym, like, our coaches are very much that. They don't push us if we don't want to be pushed. And then the people that you work out with, that you perhaps go into groups with and things like that, it all helps enhance the experience of working out. So yeah, it's fun. Enjoy it.
Well done us, well done gym.
Thank you.
I feel like we've gone full circle. And do you know, Kate, it's been really interesting just to hear how you've navigated this year itself. I mean, I call this the reset year after the pandemic. We have an economic downturn, but there's so many other things that are happening, so many positive things. It's great to see people getting together and not just being behind a computer. But it feels like, in terms of your vision board and the things you've set for yourself, you are making progress in different things. And how did it feel? That was one of the questions actually I wanted to ask. Being able to go on a photo shoot that was outside of the UK. You went to Ibiza. That was like...
Yeah, it felt good. It felt really good. I think it's funny because you forget about all the stress of booking flights and taxis and money and like all the things that actually come with travel and getting a lot of people traveling to different destinations and things like that, and the weather, and there's a lot that comes with it. However, of course, the images were incredible. The place was amazing. It was a wonderful life experience. So it's really nice to be able to plan that. And I went to New York. I hadn't been to New York for, 3 years. So it was amazing to get back out stateside and build those relationships that had perhaps fallen because we didn't have that one-to-one FaceTime. And also it's very easy when you're working in the UK, head down, think about the UK, and sometimes you forget about the rest of the world. So yeah, to be out there, seeing the people, meeting them, getting some sunshine on the skin was really beautiful. And hopefully there'll be much more of that to come.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about, especially retail businesses, retail brands. It is important for teams, for people to get out there and meet face to face, find out what's happening with competitors or meeting peers from other brands so you can understand face to face what's going on. And people share more when you see them, and your strategies might even change because of something that you've heard or seen in New York or another country, etc. That is might shape the direction of your business. So it's so important. So I would encourage all our young people to travel as well.
Yes, please
Yeah.
travel, get out there.
Yeah.
I think it shapes you so much as a person. Like to have those life experiences, to meet different cultures, to immerse yourself in all of that is beautiful. And I know I accepted a job in the Middle East when I was a lot younger, and just anyone who comes to me in their 20s and they're like, oh, I'm thinking of going to Switzerland for a job, do it. Do it. You can always come home. That's what I say. Even if you last 2 weeks or 2 years, just go out there, experience it, have a great time. I'm one of those people that prefers to travel with work. So as long as I'm getting paid to travel, I'm all right. I don't think I could travel just on my savings because I like the finer things in life. But if I'm traveling, I'm doing it with work. So yeah, that's the way I like to see the world.
Love it. Love it.
I want to ask you actually, Antola.
Yeah,
You
go for it.
are one of the busiest women I know, and you're always like super happy, really positive, just upbeat. What keeps you motivated and able to do all of this in your life?
That is a very good question. Oh my God, you threw that in there. I did not practice for this, viewers.
No, wanted to
Yeah, I think I made a decision in my life when I was younger and had gone through some adversity and things were actually not going the way that I wanted to go. Um, so I made a pact to myself that I would not let anything negative that was going on in my life determine how I would approach things. And I would not take no for an answer. I knew if one door closed, another one open. And if someone else could do it, I could do it too. I had to instill that in myself because the option was to go the other direction, which, most people then become addicted to things, etc. It could go the other way. So it's just a pact that I made to myself. And I said, I'll take it one day, 1 week, one goal at a time, 1 year at a time. So, for example, I said I wanted to travel and go and work abroad. So I said, okay, moving to Germany, how do I make that work? And then from the careers that I've chosen, I've always known that I wanted to rise. How do I make that work? And then the fitness thing has been an interesting one, Katie, because my body's changed. So I've gone from super curvy to being
to
pregnant,
super
giving birth,
strong.
yeah, to super strong. Yeah, strong is the best one. You're right.
Super
And
strong.
I just said, I want to be the best version of myself. I remember having a coach, a PT called Tony, and he's an amazing coach, but he was also a Buddhist teacher. And he said, you need to be the best version of yourself. If you close your eyes and you look at yourself at 60 or 70, how do you want to be strong, functional, being able to, climb stairs, do this, and yeah, I think that's just been a base for me that I would take it one step of it at a time. I am worthy. I need to do things that make me happy. And even when I have moments, Kate, I do have moments where I'm really anxious and I panic and I think, why is this not working? I have those moments and then I pick myself back up because the one thing that is promised to all of us, someone said, is death tax. When
Yeah.
I'm lying down and I'm about to go, what am I going to say I did with my life? And that's sort of been powering me through. And that's helped me also meet amazing people as well. The people, I've met you, I've met the gym that I'm in, the people who I run with. I've got amazing brothers and sisters. I've got an amazing small circle of friends as well. So even the people I work with, the industry, the networking that I've done, because of
Mhm.
this pact I've made for myself, which has all been in a positive light, that sort of brought all of that on board. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
No, I absolutely love that. And I think, positive light and doing it for you, the best version of yourself is so important because it's really easy to get bogged down with negativity. And I think even more so with social media and all of those things. And I actually think meeting positive people is a bit of a rarity nowadays. So
Yeah.
you have to be that person. You have to be that positive person and put out those vibes. And when you are a positive person, it can often be quite like a heavy thing to carry around with you as well, because you're often the person that lights up the room. You're the person that picks up everyone else. So, although you're doing all of that for yourself, I know as a positive person that there's a lot that will come down on you too. So yeah, I think as we spoke about the strength, like physical strength helps with the mental strength as well. So yeah, I applaud you. I think you're amazing. And one of the most inspirational people I know. So
Oh, lovely, Katie. I think I don't even know if we need to share Trailblazer takeaway tips. Like if we were to say three things that you would share again this week, what would they be?
ooh, I think it would be to read. I didn't read very much. And I've recently started reading, as I mentioned, that Stephen Bartlett book. Just people that if it, read fiction if you want to, but I think stuff like what Stephen puts out is going to lead to good things. Like it's going to
Knowledge is
improve your
power.
life. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's going to make you think differently. Whether you want to make those changes is completely up to you, but at least it's going to bring in a different perspective to your life. So, yeah, I think for me, it's like read a book, read a self-help book, read a business book. Like, how else can you enhance your life? Learn new things, constantly learning, be curious. I think that comes in with the learning, and the knowledge is power. If you meet someone that you think, oh, I like them, they're cool, they know their stuff, ask them, how did you get to where you are? Or like, what do you do? Do you go to the gym every day? Or what do you eat? Like, how are these people successful? Don't be scared of asking them, because often they'll be more than happy to tell you, because they want to share their success as well. So yeah, I think be curious, read more books, and be at peace with how you feel. So I think sometimes I try to block out my feelings, and I think what you feel is valid. So sometimes I will feel sad about something that's happened at work or that someone said to me, but I'm allowed to feel that way. So allow yourself that time to feel the way that you feel, seek advice or tell other people how you feel. Don't be afraid to voice your feelings. And if you're really not happy with something in the business that you're in, or the company that you work for, or the colleague that you're working with, or the relationship that you're in, voice how you feel. And quite often you'll find that you can work out a solution. So don't be scared to kind of talk about how you feel and sit with it.
I love that. Knowledge, curiosity, and being open and talking about your feelings. That's a good way to end the podcast.
My cheeks hurt from smiling.
I
There we
know, I know.
go.
I feel like Kate, you're just going to be a regular. Every 6 months, we'll have a chat, as to
Yeah,
what's going on, and we can do that for sure.
it will keep my vision board going, because I'll be like, right, okay, I've got to do all of this by the time on the next podcast.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I think there've been some really good gems and lessons shared. We've been open, we've been free, we've been vulnerable, and definitely tell another woman about the podcast. I'm telling the audience, and look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me again.